Once again, brothers and sisters, peace be unto you, and all praises to the Most High. I'm your host, the Apostle Reuben of IUPR Bible Radio, podcasting out of Little Rock, Arkansas, to the true saints of the Most High God. On the screen, brothers and sisters, a comment was left by at Dexter Esters. Now, we're showing you what we have to go through, because people, the Bible is 80% acceptance. 15% doubt and 5% belief. We're telling you. People think that they can go to a verse to counter a verse. All God has said about destroying Edom, they think they can go to a verse to counter what he spoke. And they put these verses up against ours. They say, see, explain this. And they can't even do it. See, I want you to pay attention. Let's get into it. Question. Idumean is a Greek word for Edom. Yes or no? Well, yes. Let's go to the bottom definition. I have it marked in green. Idumea, Greek and Roman name for Edom. Yeah, well, yes, it is. Greek and Roman name for Edom. Greek and Roman name for Edom. So, yes, it is, sir. So, what's that? Let's go back down. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Now, we can see that people are going to have their opinions and what they think, and they're going to have they're going to have their opinions, and we get it. But this one came with verses. That's why we kept it to deal with it. So let's get into it. I was looking for something, but now I found it. Question, Idumean, or Idumea, whichever, that's what he has, is a Greek word for Edom. Yes or no? Yes, based off this. Idumea or Idumea, Greek and Roman name for Edom. So yes, we've answered that. Let me go back to the timestamp. I keep going here. Yes or no? Yes. Can y'all understand the spiritual? 2 Kings 3 and 20, and then 26. So he has 2 Kings 3, 20, and 26. Now we're going to read both of those verses. 2 Kings 3 and 20. And it came to pass in the morning, when the meat offering was offered, that behold, there came water by the way of Edom. Water. And the country was filled with water. Well, what does that mean? What does that mean to you, brothers and sisters? What does it mean to you? Is this supposed to give Edom credit or show that God's behind him? I don't see that. Let's drop down to verse 26. These are the links our people will go through to hope he is saved. But let's look at this. 2 Kings 3:26. And when the king of Moab saw that the battle was too sore for him, he took with him 700 men and drew swords to break through even to the king of Edom, but they could not. These are the two verses you saw. What did you see in it? Water came down from Edom, and these men tried to get to the king of Edom by war, and they couldn't. By war now, war. So what is that? You mean to tell me this is what they do? This is what they came up with? This is it? Okay. Well, let's go a little bit deeper. Let's not play the game. Let's go to the book of Genesis. Genesis chapter 27. I tell you, brothers and sisters, these guys here. Genesis 27, verse 38. I'm just going to read I'm going to read on down because it's the point I want to get to. And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, O my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Well, he started to cry. Something was wrong. He started to cry. Now remember, it says lifted up his voice and wept. You know, Paul explained that. The book of Hebrews. See, these they talk about spiritual understanding. They don't have it. You're not going to have it with one verse, sir. I'm sorry. See, these guys that are not teachers, they know it all. They know it all. Hebrews 12:16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Oh, he did that? For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was to be blessed. He was the firstborn. He was rejected by who? It wasn't by Isaac. Jacob had to supplant the blessing from Isaac. Who was he rejected by? God. He was rejected by God. Rejected. For when he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. Bless me, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. No blessing for you. Not from God. That's given to Jacob, the true Israelites. But look what happens. Look what happens. The book of Genesis. See, brothers and sisters, you don't want to deal with people who put the mental black marker. See, I call it the mental black marker because they mentally want to shut out words and accept others. The Bible is not a book that you can accept part of. You cannot add or take away from the word. You got to accept it all, but they don't. But let's look at this. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. So you're going to have wealth in your life. And by thy sword shalt thou live. That's what I want to pay attention to. And by thy sword, which means Esau would fight everyone he came in contact with to live. By thy sword means war. See, this is the spiritual understanding they don't want of Esau. He's a man of war. And thou shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. We're going to show you that. But what I want to do is I want you to see, and by thy sword shalt thou live. So he's going to live by war. War. Now, there was a time Esau served his brother. And we're going to look at that. Let's First Chronicles, just back and forth. First Chronicles 18. Verse 13. And the he is David. Well, we'll do it like this. Moreover, Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, slew of the Edomites in the valley of Salt 18,000. So they were slinging Edom to the ground, killing them. And watch this. And he put garrisons in Edom, and all the Edomites became David's servants. Thus the Lord preserved David whithersoever he went. So this is when he was put in subjection to Jacob through David. The way the United States put garrisons in places, David did it to them. And see, I want you to understand, when it says servants, Leviticus, see the book of Leviticus 25. Verse 43. I want you to see this. Let's go to 42. 25:42. For they are my servants, which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold as bondmen. Who's he talking about? His brother. God gave the law that if your brother comes from another land as a stranger. Now, I'm going to tell you something, brothers and sisters, and I want you to pay close attention. Always, you have to pay attention to the mystery of the stranger. When we go to the book of Genesis, chapter 29, let's go to 28. Now, look at this. And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged him and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Watch this. Arise and go to Padanaram unto the house of Bethuel, thy mother's father, and take a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother. So I want you to understand, Jacob is going to take a wife from his kinfolk. Of his own people. Now, even though, I want you to pay close attention, even though Abraham was taken under the covenant of circumcision after he walked perfect, it would be to him and his seed. That doesn't mean that Abraham's family was still not his family. They were just uncircumcised. Understand what we're telling you. When you go back to the book of Genesis, see, no, do I want to do this? I want to take you to a place here in Deuteronomy 15. Deuteronomy 15. And verse 12. I want you to see this. I hope you can. And if thy brother, an Hebrew man or Hebrew woman, be sold unto thee. Why? Because Abraham's family, Terah, Nahor, even Lot in this time, under that, being the children of Shem, being the children of Eber, they also and their children, even though they wasn't under the covenant of circumcision with Abraham, doesn't mean that they were not Hebrews and they were still Abraham's brother. Abraham was separated from them by a covenant. They were still his family. They were still Hebrews. That's why when you go back to it says, and if thy brother, an Hebrew man or Hebrew woman, not an Israelite, Hebrew. I want to take you back here. I want to take you back here real quick. Genesis 11. Because I know you like, oh no, he didn't just go there. But watch this. I'm going to read on down. And Salah lived after he begat Eber 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Eber lived and 30 years and begat Peleg. So Eber, watch this. And Eber lived after he begat Peleg 430 years and begat sons and daughters. Eber. Eber is the father of the Hebrews. So Eber lived after he begat Peleg 430 years and begot sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years and begat Reu. Watch this. And Peleg lived after he begat Reu 209 years and begat sons and daughters. I want you to look at the line here. Look at the line. Look at the line of sons. And Reu lived 2 and 32. I think it's 2 and 30 years. All right, 2 and 30 years. Dog. And begot Serug, so 32 years. I had to catch up with that. And Reu lived after he begat Serug 207 years and begot sons and daughters. It's telling you now. Look at the line. Look at the line. And Serug lived 30 years and begot Nahor. And Serug lived after he begat Nahor 200 years and begot sons and daughters. And Nahor lived 9 and 20 years and begot Terah. 29 years old. And Nahor lived after he begat Terah 119 years, and he begot sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years and begat Abraham, Nahor, and Haran. So these are Hebrews. The line of Eber are the Hebrews. The line of Eber are the Hebrews. That's why when you go to Genesis 13, I'm thinking, wait a minute. I think it's 14. Here it is. Genesis 14:13. I'm just looking at this real quick. And there came one that had escaped and told Abraham the Hebrew. Abraham was a Hebrew. Abraham was a Hebrew already. It was already established that he was a Hebrew because he was of the line of Eber, which is the father of the Hebrews. So all of the Hebrew line is alive. But Abraham had just been separated by the covenant. Now watch. Let's go back to Genesis 11. Verse 25. And Nahor lived after he begat Terah 119 years and begot sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years and begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Hebrews, all these are Hebrews. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abraham, Nahor, and Haran Haran begot Lot. Hebrews. These are Hebrews. Now, I want you to pay attention. Back to Genesis. Oh my goodness. 28. Verse 1. And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged him and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Arise and go to Padanaram, to the house of Bethuel, thy mother's father, and take thee a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother. So what is Laban? He's a Hebrew. But I want you to pay attention though. Look, let's go back. Let's go to verse 29. Then Jacob went on his journey and came into the land of the people of the east. And he looked, and behold, a well in the field, and lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. And out of that well they watered the flocks. And a great stone was upon the well's mouth. And thither were all the flocks gathered. And they rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the sheep. and put the stone again upon the well's mouth in its place. And Jacob said unto them, Brethren, brethren, these are his brethren. Whence be ye? And they said, Of Haran are we. Haran was Abraham's brother. These are Hebrews. Watch. And he said unto them, Know ye Laban, the son of Nahor? Nahor. And they said, We know him. See, he's went to his brethren. All of those of that line were Hebrews. So when you see, watch this. So when you see the book of Deuteronomy, see, brothers and sisters, I'm giving you some hidden wisdom right now. I hope you see it. I hope you see it. Because when we talk about this stranger, let's look at this now. Let's look at this now. Let's look at this now. And if thy brother, an Hebrew man or Hebrew woman, be sold unto thee and serve thee 6 years, who would this Hebrew man and Hebrew woman be that served to them? Those children of Shem that were not under the covenant. They were still brethren. They were still kin. See, if thy brother, an Hebrew man or Hebrew woman, it's not just talking about the tribes of Israel. It's not just talking about among the tribes of Israel. Nahor, Torah. Come on now. They were also had kids, and they were Hebrews outside of them. These were just Hebrews outside of the covenant God made with Abraham, but they were still their brethren. Hebrew now. Every baby boy under Eber was a Hebrew. That's why it's mentioned here. And if thy brother, an Hebrew man or Hebrew woman, be sold unto thee, and serve thee 6 years, then in the 7th year thou shalt let him go free from thee. That's any Hebrew that came, he was free. Even the Hebrews that weren't under the covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Pay attention. That's why it says in Leviticus 25. See, they served you. Any Hebrew served you, and they had to be let go free. But somebody else served you. You're bondmen forever. That's what we want. But we took you around the bend. That's why it says this. Leviticus 25, verse 35. And if thy brother be waxen poor. What brother was that? Who was their brother? A Hebrew. Any Hebrew was their brother. Not just from the tribes. They understood this. It was the law. Just because he's not in the covenant of your tribe doesn't mean he's not a Hebrew. And if thy brother be waxen poor and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him. Yea, though he be a stranger. Stop. Though he be a stranger. He is a stranger of the covenant. But he's still your brother. This law did not only go for the inner tribes. Like if Simeon traveled to Asher, he is a stranger to Asher because all of them had lots of land. And when they come to your lot, he's your brother. But not only them of the 12 tribes, also the other Hebrews outside of the covenant, if they come as strangers, you're to do the same for them. Now, brothers and sisters, those Hebrews that live outside of the covenant now are Gentiles just like the rest of them. Catch a clue. Catch a clue. We've been taught by Esau too long how, and they have minimized this thing. And if thy brother could be a Hebrew, not just an Israelite, a Hebrew, be waxen poor and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him. Yea, though he be a stranger and a sojourner. that he may live with thee. See, God had the law that anyone that is your brother, there were more Hebrews outside of the covenant, but they were still their brother. That's what we wanted you to see. But I want you to look at this. When we drop down, I want you to drop down to verse 42. I'm going to read this. For they are my servants, which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold as bondmen, nor any other Hebrew. They would not be sold as bondmen. No Hebrew would be sold as a bondman. But we're going to watch this. Thou shalt not rule over him with rigor, but shall fear thy God. So don't rule over him hard. But thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen. Oh, now remember. Do I want to go into that? Because Abraham was uncircumcised, brothers and sisters, before God called him. And what does that make him? A Gentile. See, y'all got to understand how these things work. Abraham was uncircumcised before he was circumcised. So what did that make him? This is what we're telling you. Uncircumcised. One who has not submitted to the Judean rite of circumcision, Gentile. Abraham was a Gentile before he got circumcised. But he was a Hebrew. Head scratcher. No one of the Hebrews were circumcised before Abraham. Abraham was the first. So all of those other Hebrews that were uncircumcised were what? Come on now. Come on now. Come on. That's what Romans 4 is about. But thy bondmaid, but thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids. So we can show you already that there are two types of Gentiles. One would be the uncircumcised Shemites and the other nations. Remember, I'm going to show you this verse again slowly. Deuteronomy. Now, look at this. Of the heathen that are round about you, them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids. You're going to buy them. But let's go back to Deuteronomy, though. I want to make this clear. Deuteronomy. Chapter 15, verse 12. Once more. And of thy brother, an Hebrew man or Hebrew woman. He didn't say Israelite man or woman. Hebrew. Any of them. That's your brother. Hebrews. From the line of Shem. Be sold unto thee. If they be sold and serve thee 6 years. In the 7th year, thou shalt let him go free from thee. Goodbye. You served your 7 years. That's the law. But now take a look at Leviticus now. Let's go back. Hebrew. Now, those were uncircumcised Hebrews now. Y'all got to understand what we're telling you. We're going deeper. But Leviticus 25. Let's look at the difference. Leviticus 25. We're just going to read on down. Both thy bondmen, which is slaves, and thy bondmaids, slaves, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids. Moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you. Now remember, when we go back up, to Leviticus 25:35, it says, if thy brother, which is a Hebrew, be waxen poor and fallen in decay with thee, decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him. Yea, though he be a stranger. So your brother was a stranger. We're telling you, your brother, a Hebrew, was a stranger. Outside of the 12 tribes. These were Hebrews that were outside of the 12 tribes. They still were family folk, and they would come in among the tribes. But they'll have you think that stranger is anybody. No. Remember, Hebrews that weren't in the covenant were still family to those Israelites, their brothers and sisters. It's just that a lot of people haven't taught that. But when we go back down to verse 45, look at this now. It's a difference here. It's a difference. Moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy, and of their families that are with you, which they beget in your land, and they shall be your possession. Now, we're going to crack into possession a little earlier than I wanted to, but let's read and see what possession is. Leviticus 25:46, and ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession. They shall be your bondmen, slaves forever. A possession is a slave. A possession is a slave. Watch and see what this guy tells you a possession is. See, this is, watch, forever. But over your brethren, even those Hebrews that wasn't out of the covenant of the children of Israel, but still there was Hebrews that were not under the covenant. They were still their brethren, Hebrew. You shall not rule one over another with rigor. So you couldn't make your own brother a slave. Meaning there was two types of servants. One servant was bond. The other servant was for 6 years. And you could not rule over him with rigor. So as you can see, a possession, you would be a slave. Possession, slave. All right. Now, I want to go back to the book of 1 Chronicles. Because David knew the law. 1 Chronicles 18. Verse 13. It says, and he put garrisons in Edom, and all the Edomites became David's servants. He had them all under servitude. Other nations. It's a difference. Thus the Lord preserved David whithersoever he went. So this is when all the Edomites were under subjection to Jacob. But then, when Israel sinned, that's when we're going to read in the book of 2 Kings. Second Kings chapter 8. 2 Kings chapter 8. Verse 19. Yet the Lord would not destroy Judah for David his servant's sake, as he promised him to give him always a light, and to his children. In the days of Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah, and made a king over themselves. So here is when he broke the yoke. And here is when he began to build himself for his dominion. During the kings. So Edom revolted from under Judah, because Judah had them in subjection many years. Slaves, many years. But they revolted, war. and made a king over themselves. So they had a king now. Now they had a king. They began to rule over themselves. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of verses. I want to go to the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 21 and 10. Now, you remember, and by thy sword thou shalt live. 2 Chronicles 21. All right, is that 21 I want or 28? 28. 2 Chronicles 28:17. It says this. At that time did King Ahaz send unto the kings of Assyria to help him. For again the Edomites had come and smitten Judah. Now they're beginning to smite Judah and carried away captive slaves. So now these are some of the hidden things that are kept about Edom. For again the Edomites, as they got stronger, they began to come and smite Judah and carry them away as slaves. That's why, again, when you see in the book of Jeremiah chapter 40, that's why we don't play with you, brothers. Precept must be upon precept. These little weak precepts this man has, no. That's why it says this. It says, likewise, when all the Jews that were in Moab and among the Ammonites and in Edom, that's why Edom carried many of the Jews away captive and had them in captivity. But many of them, when they heard that there was a what? Let's read it. Likewise, when all the Jews that were in Moab and among the Ammonites and in Edom and that were in all the countries heard that the king of Babylon had left the remnant of Judah, and they had set a king over Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphat. So what we want you to see here is that Jews were in Edom, and you saw why. You saw why. You can see there's battle here. So you mean to tell me, I want you to pay attention to what's going on. 2 Chronicles, again, 2 Chronicles, chapter 28, just verse 17. We're just going to read that. 2 Chronicles 28:17. It says, for again, it didn't say for this once. It says for again. That means again, the Edomites, had come and smitten by how? War. See, this man lives by the sword and carried away captives. He carried away his own brother captives. See, you're going to see why I'm reading this as I go back to his comment. His brother has taken him away captive. Right? His own brother, right? They call the Edomites Jacob's brother. Look at that. Look at that. This is what was going on in the time of the Kings and Chronicles. There was always war. But this is what they avoid. They avoid this. Let's go back to the comment. Can y'all understand the spiritual 2 Kings 3:26? You couldn't, but we did understand that Esau would be a man of war, and he was after he had revolted from under David, he began to put Jacob, which is Israel, in captivity as slaves. We saw that because his father said, by his sword shall he live. It would be war. Jeremiah 49, 7 through 11. The Lord spoke concerning Edom, Esau. Leave the father. Now, he says from 7 through 11, but his point is in verse 11. His point is in verse 11. And watch and see. Watch. This is how far they'll go. This brother has been deceived. Well, let's go to Jeremiah. Because I remember, I don't want to make this too long. We're going to pick it up in Jeremiah. Now, y'all see what he puts out there. He's got a few precepts, and he's putting them out there because someone taught him. Book of Jeremiah, chapter 7. Now, all he wants is verse 11. But we're going to let him have it because we're going to read on down. Bible. Now, Jeremiah 49 said, we're just going to move through this. We're just going to read on down. It says, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? What's good about it? I don't see. Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him. Look. Is he not reading this? I'm going to bring the calamity of Esau upon him. The time that I will visit him, he's going to be visited. If grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? That's what's left. See, a glean is when you get the first fruits of the crops and what's left is out there. And you're supposed to leave that for the poor. The gleaning was to be left for the poor. But God says concerning Esau, you didn't even leave the glean. You didn't leave nothing behind. If these by night, they will destroy till they have enough. So, if grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? Would you not leave something behind? If thieves by night, they will destroy till they have enough. Look at this. But not Esau. He kept going. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places. He shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled. Spoiled now. His people are spoiled. And his brethren. And his neighbors. And he is not. What does that mean? He is not. Because the Christians say, well, he is not means that's when God killed all the people. Well, if that's the case, watch this. If that's the case, I'm going to show you what he is not mean. Because it doesn't mean that. Watch this. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 10. See, when they say he is not, that means that's when God destroyed him. He is not. Pay attention. Because I'm trying to break you into this, what they try to do. Let's go to Jeremiah, chapter 10, 18. For thus saith the Lord, behold, I will sling out the inhabitants of the land at this once, and I will distress them. Talking about Judah, that they may find it so. Woe is me for my hurt, my wound is grievous. But I said, truly, this is a grief that, and I must bear it. Watch this. My tabernacle is spoiled. All my cords are broken. My children, which are the children of Israel, are gone forth of me, and they are not. They are not. Does that mean that they're discontinued because he says, and they are not? No, the Jews still existed. We're going to show you what that and they are not or he is not mean. There is none to stretch forth my tent any more and to set up my curtains. Let's look at that. He is not. Let's look at this. The book of Proverbs, chapter 12 and 7. We're going to show you what that he is not means. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 7. It says, the wicked are overthrown. Overthrown means by another nation. The wicked are overthrown in war, other nation, and are not. That's what that means. When they are overthrown and they become servants or slaves, that's what they are not means. It doesn't mean that their line discontinued. No. Give me 1 second, brothers and sisters. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this. All right, brothers and sisters, we appreciate you very much. We appreciate you. Now let's go back to Proverbs 12:7 because I want you to see the correlation here. It says the wicked are overthrown and are not. That's why they're not, because they were overthrown. They're no longer rule over themselves anymore. They are overthrown and they are not. But the house of the righteous shall stand. See, the house, the people of the righteous shall stand. So when you're overthrown, you are not. And that is exactly, when you look at this here in the book of Jeremiah, Jeremiah 10. And I want you to look at this. Just to see. That's why he says, my tabernacle is spoiled. Who spoiled it? Babylon. This is what was coming. And all my cords are broken. My children are gone forth from me, and they are not. There is none to stretch forth my tents anymore, and to set up my curtains. See, spoiled, and they are not. That doesn't mean that their seed doesn't exist anymore. They were overthrown. It's the same thing in the book of Jeremiah. For you Christians that try to say, and they are not, means that his seed was gone and you got thousands of people believing in that. No. Let's go back down to verse Isaiah 49. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places. And he shall not be able to hide himself. Hide. His seed is spoiled. It's been taken over. And his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. He no longer has a kingdom. He's a slave. But watch this. This is what he wants to get to. It says, leave thy fatherless children, and I will preserve them alive. I will preserve Edomites alive, and let thy widows, Edom's widows, trust in me. What the world? So he says, look at this. You guys can't see this. It says, leave thy fatherless children. Now, this is supposed to be talking about Edom now, and I will preserve them alive. Now, brothers and sisters, this is when we warn you about them making up their own stuff. And we told you, Christians they take a verse and they make it up. Now, we guarantee you that this man has not another precept in the Bible that's going to say that, because when I look at Isaiah, I want you to pay attention. I want you to pay attention. The book of Isaiah, chapter 49. The book of Isaiah, chapter 49, verse 6. And he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob and to restore the preserved of Israel. The only ones that was preserved was Israel. It didn't say he was going to preserve nations. It said Israel. Sir, do you see? If in case he's watching, preserve Israel. And I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles. That's the other Hebrews. There were other Hebrews that are brethren to Israel, but they're Gentiles because they were uncircumcised. Keep it, pay attention how this thing is going to work. This is a mystery here you cannot fathom. That thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth. Let's drop down to verse 8. Let's read this. You'll never read this. Thus saith the Lord, in an acceptable time have I heard thee, and in the day of salvation have I helped thee. I will preserve thee. Who? I will give thee for a covenant of the people, to establish the earth, to cause to inherit the desolate heritage, or heritages. There was a preserved for the salvation of Israel, the preserved. The Bible never says he was going to preserve nations, especially not Edom. See, this is why. Let's look at, let me give you 3 more real quick. I'm going to show you the only one that is going to be preserved or preserved according to the scripture is Israel alone. You will not find nowhere in this text where God is preserving nations alive. No. Let's get the book of Psalms 148. This is why we know they make up stuff. Psalms 148:14. He also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel. A people near unto him, praise ye the Lord. So the saints are the children of Israel. And again, we're going back, Psalms. We're going to the verses that they can't do anything about. Psalms 50. Verse 5. It says, gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. The only ones that made a covenant with him of sacrifice is Israel, and Israel by themselves. And we guarantee you, brothers and sisters, can't no pastor out there in earth prove us wrong. On earth. They know the only ones that made a covenant with God were the saints. The children of Israel are the saints. Only the children of Israel. So when we go to the book of Psalms 37, Psalms 37. Verse 28. Just getting to the point. For the Lord loveth judgment, and forsaketh not his saints. His saints, they are preserved forever. But the seed of the wicked, which is Esau, shall be cut off. The only one God is preserving is his saints, the children of Israel. He's not preserving the nations. He's not preserving the nations. So that's 2. We saw it in Isaiah 49, verse 6, to preserve Israel, and Christ the preserved for the salvation of Israel. You're not going to see him preserving all nations. It's not going to happen. Psalms 97. Psalms 97. verse 10. You that love the Lord, hate evil, hate sin. He preserveth the souls of his saints. He's not preserving the soul of everybody to keep them alive. He's not. He's not. He's not. They make verses say what they want. God has already predestined who he's going to preserve, and it's Israel over and over and over and over and over. He delivereth them out of the hand of the wicked, which is Esau. Wicked. The border of wickedness, Malachi 1 and 4, which we're going to stop by later. God preserves the soul of his people, not anybody. See, they will never have 2 or 3 witnesses to explain nothing. And even though, remember, the book of Deuteronomy, there was a reason why they would be preserved alive. Deuteronomy chapter 6. I'm going to show y'all what this. I want you to look at this. Watch this. And the Lord commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear the Lord our God, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive, as it is at this day. The press of when you were preserved, it was always because of the law. Esau didn't keep no law. The only one God will preserve alive is Israel. But when we go back to Jeremiah 49, we're just showing you there's no verse that is going to go with that to confirm that that's true. This is why we tell you, brothers and sisters, and we're going to get them in verse 12. All you got to do is drop down one verse, and you're going to see. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 11. Leave thy fatherless children, I will preserve them alive, and let the widows trust in me. Now, he says, I will preserve them. Now, is this talking about Edom? Now, we just saw Edom, he is not. He's been overthrown, taken over. Now, as he's been thrown over, now, it's funny, brothers and sisters, how we can go here and see, flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him. Why would God bring calamity and then save his children alive? Idiot. See, this is what a white scholars or these Negro so-called scholars want to try to bring out. No, I will bring calamity upon the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. So he's going to bring calamity upon him, and then his fatherless children he's going to preserve alive. No, we're going to show you the fatherless that are going to get mercy, and it's not Esau. Because when you go back to Isaiah 14, this is why. This is why. Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14. This is how we know. No. It says this. Isaiah 14. This is talking about the Babylon. Now we're not going to read it all, but we want you to see this. Isaiah 14 and 20. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. A seed of evildoers shall not be renowned. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name, and the remnant, and the son, and the nephew, saith the Lord. He's going to cut them all off. So here, the remnant of Babylon, he didn't do this to the first Babylon. All that happened, brothers and sisters, is the kingdom switched hands. Darius became king at 62 years old. Not one Babylonian was slain. Here, is a Babylon that he's going to cut off the name and the remnant and the son and the nephew, says the Lord. So now wait, Psalms 137. Who is called Babylon? See, this is what they block out. Oh, get the mental black marker. The mental black marker. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, race it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, Edom is also Babylon. Did you catch that? Edom is also Babylon. They're the daughter of Babylon. It doesn't always have to use daughter. They're Babylon. So Edom is Babylon themselves. Now, if God didn't cut off the first Babylon the way he said it in, let's go back, Isaiah. Isaiah 14. Verse 21, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. They do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon. Who is this Babylon he's going to cut off? Edom. The name and the remnant and the son and the nephew, saith the Lord. So what's going on? Look at this. Isaiah said they're all going to be killed, just like Obadiah did. But here comes this guy. Oh, but you guys missed the spiritual life. No, you were trying to skip chapter and verse. Come here. See, this is what we're saying. They always want to have you believe in some little verse. But let's look at this. I will leave thy fatherless children. I will preserve them alive. And let my widows trust in me. And let thy widows trust in me. Excuse me, brothers and sisters. Off today. Tired. But I got to do this podcast episode. So leave thy fatherless children, and I will preserve them alive. We didn't read that in Isaiah. Isaiah 14, 21, 22 says he's going to kill all of the children of Babylon, which is Edom. But now, all of a sudden, his fatherless children are going to be preserved alive, and the widows shall trust in him. Edom's widows? Son, you don't even know what you're talking about. The only ones that were promised mercy of the fatherless. Let's go to Hosea. These people, we're going to promise you in the future, brothers and sisters, we're going to calm down because I know you want to. But the book of Hosea 14 and 1. O Israel, return unto the Lord thy God, for thou hast fallen by thine iniquity. Take with you words and turn unto the Lord, and say unto him, take away all iniquity and receive us graciously. So when the iniquity is moved, God will receive graciously. But the Christians teach you could be in iniquity and God gives grace. It doesn't say that here. It says you have to remove sin and then get the grace. But you know how they teach it. So will we render the calves of our lips. Assure shall not save us. We will not ride upon horses, neither will we say any more to the work of our hands, ye are our gods. For in thee the fatherless findeth mercy. The fatherless that's going to get mercy are the fatherless of Israel, not the nations. That's the fatherless promised mercy. See, that's why we say, brothers and sisters, they never have another witness. The Bible says that's one witness, you need another. That's two witnesses. They don't have a witness. Because Isaiah, see, this is what assure shall not save us. We will not ride upon horses, neither will we say any more to the work of our hands, ye are our gods. No more idolatry. For in thee the fatherless, in thee the fatherless of Israel findeth mercy. And that's why it says in the next verse, not all nations, the fatherless. I will heal their, Israel, backslidings. I will love them, Israel, freely, for mine anger is turned away from them. That's why we say the fatherless is in Israel. He's going to heal Israel. He's not healing the nations, especially not Edom, Come on now. So let's go back to Isaiah. Isaiah. No, not Isaiah. I don't want to go to Isaiah. I did. But I want to go back to Jeremiah because I need to get this over with. Jeremiah 49. I want to go to Isaiah, back to Isaiah 51, but I'm not going to do it. I don't want to make this. I'll do it later. I'll be trying to make podcasts longer than they should, but it was for a reason. We're going to show you who this is he's talking about. Leave thy fatherless children, and I will preserve them alive, and let thy widows trust in me. We're going to show you in the next verse who that's talking about. For thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. Wait a minute. Who is the one that drunk of the cup that shouldn't have drunk of the cup? Isaiah 51. It's only two people that's going to drink from the cup. Isaiah 51. We're going to show you who drank from the cup that was not supposed to drink from the cup. Isaiah 51, verse 17. Awake, awake, stand up, O Jerusalem, which has drunk at the hand of the Lord the cup of his fury. They were not supposed to drink of the cup, but they did. Israel drank of the cup. Thou hast drunken the dregs of the cup of trembling and wrung them out. God gave us hell, brothers and sisters, because of our sins. We were the ones that drank of that cup of his indignation, wrath, fury. But somebody else is going to drink of the cup. We're going to show you the cup. Somebody else is going to drink of the cup. One more nation. We drunk it. Now somebody else has to drink of this cup. Isaiah 49 again. See, they like to read in the stuff. Isaiah 49. No, Jeremiah. Excuse me. Jeremiah. I keep saying Isaiah. It's Jeremiah 49. Sorry. I need to get that straight. Jeremiah 49. Verse 11. Leave thy fatherless children, I will preserve them alive. He's talking about Israel. He's going to preserve them alive. And let thy widows trust in me. The only ones he's preserving is Israel. But here's the proof. For thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. Israel drunk of that cup. Now watch this. Art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Who's he talking about here? Go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. Who's going to drink of the cup next? Who is the next one that's going to drink of the cup of the fury of the Lord? The book of Lamentations chapter 4. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And verse 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. There it is. Daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself naked. Now, Israel, they drunk of the cup. Now Edom has to drink of the cup. They're the nation that's going to drink of the cup next. And what is the cup? The book of Psalms. See, we know that if we don't read it to you, you're never going to know. The book of Psalm 75. Let's look at this cup. Psalm 75, verse 8. For in the hand of the Lord there is a cup, and the wine is red, and it is full of mixture. And he poureth out of the same. But the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth shall wring them out, and shall drink them. The cup. The cup. The cup of the Lord. It's always been here. But Revelation 14 is going to explain to you the cup Edom is going to receive. Because Edom's the wicked. Revelation 14, verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, the beast and his image. The beast is Rome, and his image is his false Christ. So now we know who the cup, just think, the beast and his image. The beast is Rome. The beast is a kingdom. And receive his mark on his forehead or on his hand. So if you worship the beast, the same shall drink. The same, because it's going to tell you here what the cup is. And the cup is for the beast in his image. Esau is who the cup is for. It's for him, just like the prophecy says. The same which is any Israelite, any one of us, shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. They know what's going to happen. They know this cup. The beast in his image is Esau, Rome with his Christ. The Bible tells you in Lamentations. See, it gives you got to put it together. Lamentations 4. Lamentations 4. Verse 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. You're next to get the cup. Thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself naked. Watch this. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. We have been freed. Now we await Edom's cup being passed to him, because that's the only two that was prophesied to drink of the cup. Israel drank of the cup, and now it's time for Edom to drink of the cup. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will visit thine. That's the visit. Visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He's coming to visit your iniquity. That cup is going to pass to you. He will discover thy sins. There's a prophecy. That's why, again, we see, brothers and sisters, when we go to this verse here. Now, was it this? Or was it this? All right, here we go. I'm sorry. If you look at the top, it says Edom in the orange, burnt orange. Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgments, notably Isaiah 34, 5 and 6, and Isaiah 63 and 1. But there's plenty of them. That's what they used, but we're using what we use. She is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from God. It's prophesied. She will suffer the cup. The cup is going to come to her. And the cup is in Revelation 14, 13. Or 10, I mean. Revelation 14 and 10. She's going to be burned with fire, and anybody that worships her is going to be burned with her. From the children of Israel, of course. I got to go over this. But you look, she's not promised any mercy from God. And you can see the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. That's another time. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. Now it's time for Edom to suffer the wrath, the cup, as prophesied. That's why when you go back to Jeremiah 49, this is how we know. This is how we. One more verse. For thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. Israel. They are drunk. They the ones that drunk of the cup. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Talking to Edom now. Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. There's your cup. Death, just like it was our cup. So when they try to make this verse 11 talk about, oh, he's going to preserve the followers of Edomites, no, That wasn't what that meant. It was talking to Israel. He's the one, the only one, the fatherless to have mercy is Israel. Hosea 14, 3 and 4. Got to have precepts to this. They don't. They want Edom to live. You see, brothers and sisters, it's not about hatred. Anytime we show it, and I guarantee you they turn their heads when we show it. When we show things like this, they turn their heads. We know it. They don't like to see, like this little boy in the cotton field. They're not worried about him. If he was younger, they wouldn't care. They don't care about this. Man, it's 99, 100 degrees outside, and you got this happening. Kids out there. Packed together like sardines. This is our forefathers. They turn their backs on them very quickly and don't care. They don't care. Well, that was a long time ago. Okay. You know, the funny thing is, brothers and sisters, that excuse of it being a long time ago is going to be their demise, because it doesn't matter how long ago it was with God. They make verses like this say what they want to say. Oh, so to say, no, God is not preserving any other nation alive but Israel. That's what you read. So these are the fatherless. And plus Hosea 14 and 3, the fatherless that's going to find mercy is of Israel. And those are the widows that trust in him, not some Edomites. They didn't even know how to trust in him. They didn't even know how to trust in the Lord. They didn't even have the law. How can they trust in a God that's not theirs? It's foolish, brothers and sisters. Foolish. Didn't he ever see? The book of Amos. See, these guys, man, yeah, boy, they are suckered in. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. How can Edom trust in a God that's not theirs? God didn't even know Edom as a nation. Didn't care about him. Trash to him. But that just offends y'all when we say that. But we prove it, though. We proves it. Edom was sent here for war. That's all the white man was good for. War. There was no promise, no blessing to him. But war. So you can give up Jeremiah 49, 7 through 11. You don't even know what you're talking about. Edom has a cup to drink. Remember, if you see this, don't just add Isaiah 49, 7 through 11. Put verse 12 with it. I bet you leave it off. Don't want to hear it. They don't care about that. The truth they don't care about. They just want Esau to be saved. Lord, please don't destroy him. Even though he kills, and still killing today, it doesn't matter. Those people right there are dead, brothers and sisters, right along with them. That's why this verse here is so important. Proverbs chapter 21. Verse 16, the man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. This man right here is an example of the dead. Now remember, Jeremiah 49, 7 through 11, the Lord spoke concerning Edom, Esau, leave the fatherless children, and I will preserve them alive, and let thy widows trust in me. He actually thinks that God is going to preserve Esau alive. Ha! That's not what you read. The only one God is going to preserve alive is his people. See, you didn't have. Now, notice he says 7 through 11, but all he quoted was verse 11, because that's what he wanted you to see. Preserve them alive. No, he's not talking. He wasn't talking about Esau. The only one God is going to preserve alive in the first place was Israel. You never will find another verse saying God is going to preserve the nations. You won't find it. Look it up. Chapter and verse, precept upon precept, not a precept here and throw the line way over into another place. But look at this. It says in Deuteronomy 23, 7 and 8. See, look where else he went. See, it shows in Deuteronomy 23. These are the same old verses, brothers and sisters, that the weak Israelites push toward. Watch this. Deuteronomy 23. I laugh at the brothers and sisters, verse 7. Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou wast a stranger in his land. But watch this though. The children that are begotten of them shall enter into the congregation of the Lord in their third generation. So he thinks that entering into the congregation in their third and fourth generation means they're going to be among them. But were they among David? No. David made them servants. They did not come into the congregation. See, that's what they don't know what this means. They're not coming into the congregation and being equal with them. No, they're coming in as slaves. We're going to show you. They don't know the book. But here's the thing. Up in verse 7, it says, thou shalt not abhor an Edomite. Let's go to the book of Psalms. Now, David surely should have known this law. But let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter, I think it's 52. Psalms chapter 52 and verse 1. Now, to the chief musician, Maskil, a psalm of David, when Doeg the Edomite came and told Saul and said unto him, David is come to the house of Ahimelech. Why boastest? Now, here is a Edomite named Doeg that went against David for Saul, but he's an Edomite. Now, David knows the rules of an Edomite. Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite. But watch what David says about this Edomite. Pay attention. Doeg the Edomite. Look at what he says. Thy tongue deviseth mischiefs, like a sharp razor, working deceitfully. Now, he's talking about Doeg the Edomite. Thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather than to speak righteousness. Look at all he's saying. See, you Edomite, your tongue deviseth evil. You lovest evil, which is sin, more than good, which is the law, and lying rather than to speak righteously. Talk about this Edomite. Thou lovest all devouring words, thou deceitful tongue. Still talking about the Edomite. God shall likewise destroy thee forever. That gummit. When it says God shall likewise destroy thee forever, it's not talking about just him. God shall likewise destroy thee forever. So David's like, God's going to destroy you forever. But I thought we wasn't. See, I thought we wasn't supposed to abhor an Edomite, but look at what David is writing. This is mean. This is evil, right? God shall likewise destroy thee forever. He shall take thee away and pluck thee out of thy dwelling place and root thee out of the land of the living. He shall take you out of the land of the living, you Edomite. The righteous also shall see and fear and shall laugh at him. So there's going to be a group that's the righteous of Israel that are going to see God destroy this Edomite and laugh about it. Come on now. Look at that. We're reading it right. God, David writes, God shall likewise destroy thee forever. He's talking to Doeg the Edomite. He shall take thee away and pluck thee out of thy dwelling place and root thee out of the land of the living. You're going to be taken out. Same thing that's been saying all the time. But y'all got to understand, it's not just talking about Doeg the Edomite. That's why it says, the righteous also shall see and fear and shall laugh at him. It's going to be people laughing, happy, joyful when he this Edomite is destroyed. But didn't God say, thou shalt not abhor an Edomite? Thou shalt not hate? This seems like words of hate here. Brothers and sisters, this seems like words of hate David is spreading about an Edomite. See, brothers and sisters, when Edomites done things like this, remember, when Edomites done things like this in 2 Chronicles 28, verse 17, when you see, for again the Edomites had come and smitten Judah and carried away captives. By war they smote Judah and carried them away slaves. See, you can see the evil the Edomites put on our people in the book as well as today, but for some reason people like to overlook it. Doesn't matter what they do to us, they should be saved. That's a sick individual, and that's what we're talking about right here. See, the children of the Edomites and Egyptians shall enter in the congregation of the Lord, the third, fourth generation. He thinks that's enter in and be equal. No, the law was if they came in, they would be slaves under you, your possession. Now he goes to Amos. Now he goes to Amos. Let me tell you what he's doing. Amos 9. Verse 11 and 12. Now, he saw my video about Israel being raised, Isaiah 49 and 6, and preserved. So I came here as a precept, and I read it. It says, "In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom, and all the heathen which are called by my name, saith the Lord that doeth this." So let's go back down, and we're going to come back up here. Look at this. It says, Amos 9, verse 11 and 12. It says, "The y'all understand, I guess not." Acts 15, 16. The precept is Amos 9, 11. Possess them does not mean what y'all been taught. So possess does not mean what we've been taught. Possess means something else, he says. Possess. Well, let's go and look and see what possess means. Because see, bro, so this is it. We're showing you the sickness of our people. Our people are sick. Very sick. When the September 11 attacks happened, they was hell bent to get revenge. But what happens to our people? They don't want revenge. Something wrong with that. Now again, we're going to go to the book of Mark 5, 7 through 19. So let's see, notice, brothers and sisters, it's always a verse from a chapter, a chapter and 12 verses. What's the verse you want, sir? That's not key. But we're going to look at this. He says, possess doesn't mean what y'all been taught. Mark 5. Let's go to Mark 5 and look at the sickness of this guy, because that's what we're saying. He's sick. Mark 5. Verse 7. Let's go to it. And cried with a loud voice and said, "What have I to do with thee, the Messiah, Son of the Most High God? I adjure thee by God, that thou torment me not." Now wait a minute. This is talking about a spirit. Oh, wait. For he said unto him, come out of the man, thou unclean spirit. But spirit, wait, hold up. Let's look what he's saying. I got to read all this. What am I looking for here? This is what we're looking for. Verse 18. And when he was coming to the ship, he that had been possessed with the devil so his definition of being possessed is being possessed with the devil. This is his meaning of being possessed. This is what he's trying to say. Possessed means possessed of the devil. Prayed him that he might be with him. See, brothers and sisters, this is an example of being taught by anybody. Anybody's teaching him this. This so possessed mean by the devil? This is the possession we're reading. Watch this. Verse 16. And they that saw it told them how it befall to him that was possessed with a devil. So when it talks about Amos 9, I want y'all to this is what he gave us. Amos 9. This is how bad it is, brothers and sisters. This is how bad it is. That they may possess the remnant of Edom. So according to you, Israel is going to go inside of Edom and possess them like devils. Come on now. You need to stop leaving comments on People Channel. You can love the white man until whatever you want pleases you. But these, sir, are bad examples. Bad examples for proof. You're going to sit up here and tell us that possessed doesn't mean what y'all been taught. Mark 5, 7 through 19. The possession you're talking about, sir, is being possessed by devils. But is that what the Bible is talking about in Amos 9 and 12? That they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen, which are called by my name, saith the Lord that doeth this. Let's take a look at a few verses that talk about possession. Back to Leviticus 25. See, he doesn't want to admit this. No, he doesn't want it. See, we tell you they avoid chapter and verse. Leviticus 25:45. Moreover, the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy of their families that are with you, which they beget in your land, and they shall be your possession. Your possession. When you buy them, they're your possession. When you buy them, look. And ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession, that they shall be your bondmen forever. A possession is a slave. He don't want that. He don't want to hear that. That's no. Don't want to hear it. When they were your possession, they were your slaves. But over your brethren, the children of Israel, ye shall not rule one over another with rigor. So possession was your slave. I want to get Deuteronomy. Look at this. Look, Deuteronomy. Let's look at this possess. This, ooh, brothers and sisters, this has got to be bad. Well, pay attention to this. Deuteronomy 11:20. I want to get straight to the point. And thou shalt write them upon the doorposts of thine house and upon thy gates, that your days may be multiplied, and the days of your children, in the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers to give them, as the days of heaven upon the earth. If we keep the law, it was the days of heaven. Israel was the kingdom of heaven. Abraham was promised heaven and earth. That's rulership over the nations. And Israel if they had kept the law, would have gotten that promise. But I want you to pay attention, the days of heaven upon earth. For if you shall diligently keep all these commandments, which I command you to do them, to love the Lord your God, and to walk in all his ways, and to cleave unto him, the Lord will, pay attention, pay close attention, then the Lord will drive out all these nations from before you, and ye shall possess is possession, possess greater nations you shall possess greater nations and mightier than yourselves. So you're going to possess. Pay attention, we're going to read this again. Then will the Lord drive out all these nations from before you, and ye shall possess greater nations and mightier than yourselves. Look at this. Everywhere whereon the soles of your feet shall tread shall be yours, from the wilderness of Lebanon, from the river Euphrates, even unto the uttermost sea shall your coast be. Look at this. There shall no man be able to stand before you, for the Lord your God shall lay the fear of you and the dread of you upon all the land that ye shall tread upon, anywhere, as he has said unto you. So when you are possessing somebody, when somebody is your possession, look at this. When it says, you shall possess greater nations that are mightier than yourselves, there shall no man be able to stand before you. Why? Because you're ruling them. Rule. The fear of the Lord is lain to them upon you. Nations are going to fear you. You're going to rule them. This is what God is saying. When you possess a nation, you are ruling them with a rod of iron. They fear you. They fear the dread of you. Isaiah. We don't know what he's talking about. Isaiah. Oh, possess means Isaiah 14. Verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and will set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them. What strangers are going to be joined with them? Remember what we've been talking about. These uncircumcised Israelites. We research about sisters. We'll see if we can find that episode, share it, and pick it back up, and make it where it's further in the archives. Because we've told you, the strangers were Israelites as well as other nations. We've proven that 100 times over. Shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave unto the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. That's what it means to possess, for servants and handmaids. And those servants and handmaids are all not our own people. But I want you to pay attention. And they shall take them, and they shall take them captives or slaves. When you possess, slave. Some of them are going to be servants and handmaids, but others are going to be slaves. Whose captives they were. Whose captives were we? Edoms. And they shall rule over their oppressors. Brothers and sisters, when you have possession over people, they are your slaves. There's no equality here in the kingdom. None. None. All they want to do is try to fight what something means. They can't do that. The understanding, and we don't want to forget, I want to go to the book of Acts 15, what he's talking about. Because he one little old precept. Now watch this. After this I will return, and I will build again the tabernacle of David, not the nations, David, which is fallen down. And I will build again the ruins thereof, and I will set it up, that the residue of men might seek after the Lord. Residue of men, and all of the Gentiles, upon whom my name is called, Who are these Gentiles that were called by his name? Who were they? Because we surely don't know. See, we're going to show you, brothers and sisters, man, Isaiah 63. Let's get into this. Isaiah 63. I just want to show you this real quick. Isaiah writes. Let's read on down. Excuse my reading, brothers and sisters. My eyes are, either I was going to do the podcast now or never, because it's supposed to be storms tonight and I won't be able to do it then. But I am very tired. But work with me. Please work with me. Isaiah 63:17. O Lord, why hast thou made us to err from thy ways, thy laws? See, he made us to err from his ways, and hardened our hearts from thy fear. Return for thy servant's sake, Israel, the tribes of thine inheritance. The people of thy holiness have possessed it but a little while, from David to Solomon. Our adversaries have trodden, the adversaries which are the Gentiles, have trodden down thy sanctuary, just like Christ said in Luke 21:24. It's all together, brothers and sisters. The Gentiles shall the land shall be trodden down. But look at this. We are thine. Thou never bearest rule over them. Talking about the other nations, the adversaries, they were not called by thy name. So there was a group of Gentiles that was not called by his name. And there was a group of Gentiles that were called by his name. Which Gentiles were called by his name? The uncircumcised Israelites. Don't play with us. We got the verses to show you. There was a group that were not called by his name. That's why Jeremiah chapter 10 again. I think this is Jeremiah 10. Watch this. It says, pour out thy fury upon the heathen that know thee not. There are heathen that did not know him, upon the families that call not on thy name. See, there was a family that did not call on the name of God. So how could they be called by his name if they have not called on his name? That's what we're telling y'all. For they have eaten up Jacob, devoured him, and consumed him, and have made his habitation desolate. See, there was a group that was not called by his name, but there was a group of heathen that were. We've been very clear. And see, let me see if I can find this. Give me a second. All right. Just want to bring my mic up. I know you've been looking at this for a while. But it says most frequently this word merely means the other nations. Now this is the definition of heathen. As distinguished from the Hebrews without intending any reference to religion. But it generally means idolaters. Heathen means idolaters. It doesn't mean, see, they frequently changed it to other nations for a reason. But all the heathen was originally, or I should say all heathen originally meant, brothers and sisters, truly and honestly was an idolater. And we had plenty of them in Israel. That's why it says, looking at, again, most frequently this word merely means the other nations. Most frequently means it was changed. In the old time, a heathen was what? Let's read on down. Most frequently this word merely means the other nations. Most frequently means it changed. As distinguished from the Hebrews without intending any reference to religion. But it generally means idolaters. Anybody that was an idolater was a heathen, which means idolatrous Israelites were also heathen. The revision very frequently substitute the word nations for heathen. They very frequently, they changed the meaning of heathen. Heathen just meant an idolater. And that's why, when we go back up, and sorry, brothers and sisters, I know I had this, I had to bring back up my mic, because when you I would say when you update, it cuts off all my programs and everything I made up, and I have to go back in and adjust it, and I didn't adjust that one. So I was talking, but it was silence, and that's how some of them go. I don't really know until I go in there and adjust it. And I just so happen to see, that's what these quick keys do. They allow you to see as you are making a podcast, they help you. You have to get better at it because we're about reading chapter and verse over and over. So when it says in Amos 9:12 that they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen which are called by my name, the heathen, the idolaters that were called by his name were those idolatrous Israelites. Because the other heathen were not called by his name in Isaiah 63:19. Put two and two together. Those heathen that was with Edom are going to be slaves right along with them. That's what we've been telling you. Our brothers and sisters that kept Sunday, church, Easter, Christmas, Baby Day, Dog Day, when Edom is taken over, they're going to be right there beside them in chains. But we're going to separate the two. And we're going to bring them into the land, our heathenist brothers and sisters, idolaters. And they're going to be servants and handmaids. They're not going to enjoy the kingdom either. This is all about the law. Which are called by my name, saith the Lord that doeth this. See, brothers and sisters, this is one of the, I would say, more bad podcasts I've done. You have to excuse my reading, but man, there was so much in this podcast episode I had to look up and look up and look up and look up, and I really wasn't ready for it. But see, it's not about me. It's about reading. If you think that I'm going to read this many precepts without trusting the Lord, you're crazy. That's why the Bible says in Psalms 119, when you trust God, it's a way to trust God. Psalms 119 verse 42. Let me show you how to trust God. Psalms 119 verse 42. So shall I have wherewith to answer him that reproacheth me. Like this comment here. He calls himself trying to reproach me because I'm teaching against Edom. For I trust in thy word. See, his word is his law, the whole law. All of it. That's why when this guy goes to 2 Kings 3:20, wait, what, that was nothing? There. Jeremiah 49:7-11. These are places. That Deuteronomy 23:7-8. We don't friend out Amos 9. He's possessed by the devil. Come on now. If you see this podcast, I'm talking to the brother that left this. If you see this podcast, see what you don't know. You with these 3 or 4 or 5 scriptures, that's good, and a bunch of verses with it. That's what you like. You got key points, but those points, they don't add up. When the Bible says Edom is going to be a desolation, that's what they're going to be. Whether it be Edom or Idumea. Now let's look at this last couple. The book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 25. Verse 12. Thus saith the Lord God, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended, and revenged himself upon them. Look at what Edom's doing. See, over and over, 2 Chronicles 28:17, it continues to happen. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, I will stretch out my hand upon Edom, and I will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. God's sword. Fire. And when he does, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom, by the hand of my people Israel. Revenge time, Israel. All the shootings, all the killings, all the bad foods, all the sickness. Revenge time. See, they don't want to hear this. They've hated their own people, and they want Edom to be saved right along. The killers and the accusers of their people to be saved right along with them. That's sick. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to my anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord God. We're going to really know his vengeance. See, it's the Lord God's vengeance. When the Lord brings his vengeance on Edom, it's going to be by us. We're going to take out the Lord's vengeance on them, and then we will know true vengeance. We can't imagine that now, but we'll know it then. There's no good news for Edom. None. Is that our fault? No. But you couldn't, you brothers and sisters, you got this coming across the comment section. This right here. The bottom just tripped me out. I had to laugh. I'm sorry. Possessed doesn't mean what y'all been taught. Mark 5:7-19. Possessed by a devil. With that, brothers and sisters, one love and peace be unto you. All praises to the Most High. We'll see you tomorrow on the Sabbath.